Hello, good morning. So today I'd like to talk about a topic that many of you uh, probably have trouble with, and that's fear. So I'd like to start off, as always, with a few quotes. You always have two choices: your commitment versus your fear. That's Sammy Davis Jr. said that. The eagle has no fear of adversity. We need to be like the eagle and have a fearless spirit of a conqueror. That's Joyce Meyer. Uh, Fear is stupid, so are regrets. That's Marilyn Monroe. And inaction brings doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Get busy. I believe that was Dale Carnegie. Um, so anyway, those are some very good quotes to start off with. Um, Now, I'd like to talk a bit about when we were kids, right? When we were kids, we were fearless, right? Or most of us were. Think about it. When you first learned to walk, right? You got up and you walked. Well, not right away. You'd fall down hundreds of times, right? And then eventually you'd be able to walk. But you didn't fall down two or three times and then just sit there and pout and never try to get up again, right? You wouldn't have that fear. You just get up and do it and do it and do it until you got the hang of it, right? It was the same as when you're a kid and you're learning how to ride a, what do you call it, small thing, tricycle, right? I never had a tricycle. I started off on a bicycle right away. Um, you'd ride that until and you keep trying until you got the hang of it. Bicycle, it took me forever, but I did finally get it. I think part of the reason why I had so much trouble with the bicycle is because I got a bicycle in grade one or two, and that bicycle lasted me right up till grade eight. Like it was too big for me, right? But at any rate, so when you're a kid, you do all kinds of stuff, right? I remember when I was a kid, we had this house in Montreal, right? And it had these concrete steps, and there was about 12 wide concrete steps that you go up. And you go up, and there was the steel banisters or whatever they're called, but you go up these stairs, and then there's a door obviously there, right? But the side there was a brick wall, and on this brick wall there was a mailbox. So I guess you know what's coming now, right? I grabbed onto that mailbox and started swinging back and forth, and of course, lo and behold, that mailbox came off the wall and I went tumbling down the stairs. That was pretty painful, to say the least. So, when I learned how to ride my bicycle a few years later, there'd be all these cool places to go as kids, like the woods and this and that. And there was sort of these sand things where you'd sort of, ride over these hills real fast and then you'd do a jump, right? I remember doing that. Nothing came out of that though. I did well. I did well at that. Skating was a big thing for me. I never learned how to skate. And I remember as a teenager, some people had come over to the house and we were going to go to the arena and they were going to teach me how to skate. And they had got some skates for me, right? So we all went to the arena and paid for my admission. And well, I never did go up there because I was too afraid of getting laughed at, right? Because I was already getting laughed at in school. I didn't want to go out in the arena and face people from school and have them laugh at me even more. So I never did learn how to skate. Now I'm probably not going to learn how to skate just simply because I don't want to wreck anything now. But anyway, so you see where I'm going with this. As a kid, we didn't have many fears. Sure, there was some, like when you burnt yourself on the stove, you didn't do that again, right? But I mean, for the general part, we were pretty fearless. And then somewhere along the way, we started getting these fears, right? Sometimes that's when you're in a class. I'll give you another example where we're in a class and I had to do a presentation and the whole class laughed at me, right? Of course, I was not prepared for this. So basically all I did is put the notes on a transparency that, you shine on the screen in the class and just basically read it. I did it in pretty stone-faced, right? Steven Seagalish reading. And it was pretty boring and, well, I got laughed at. So I had a fear of presenting anything for quite a while. So what I'm saying is sometimes over time, you experience these and then it's in your head that this is going to happen, right? But actually nothing real. Yes, there are stuff that you should be afraid of. Yes, I'm not denying. But a lot of what we fear is just in our heads. So that was, one thing that I never learned to do because I was too afraid so eventually though I did get to speak. Somebody wanted me to speak and I did. I was scared and I was afraid of getting laughed at and I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. I faced my fear and gave this speech and actually it went well. But how I did this speech is that I looked at one person I knew and focused my attention on that one person, and that made me alleviated a lot of my fear. Fear of speaking actually is a big fear for a lot of people. 75% of people actually do fear public speaking. So that is a big one. And so what are some things, like I promised you a few ways of overcoming your fear, right? The first one is take action, okay? I know it's pretty obvious, but just do it, like overcome it, right? Now, what if you're so tensed up that you can't, right? Like if you're doing a live video and you freeze, right? Okay, then there's another solution for that. Breathing techniques work very good. So I watched, I think it was a YouTube or a TED Talk. But anyway, what they did is have people do simple tasks and then try and throw them off. So they'd have them count backwards from 100 by twos. And then what they do is start asking them questions or something to throw them off track. Then what they did is hook up these things to a monitor to see their stress levels, right? And then what they did is, okay, so then when they started getting stressed, they teach them a technique. And here's the technique, the breathing, okay? So that they breathe, but the trick is not just breathe, but breathe in a pattern. So your pattern could be 4 in, 4 out, 5 in, 5 out, whatever it is, whatever you can do. So you breathe in for 4, and then breathe out for 4, like that. Now there is another one that's a little more advanced than this. This is one you can use for meditation and stuff. You can use the other one as well, but I found this one is particularly good because you have to concentrate, right? Okay, so same technique, you breathe in for 4, but you'd hold it for 4. Okay, then you'd breathe out for 4 and just hold it. So that's called box breathing, and that's very useful as well. I found that to be quite useful when you're getting stressed out. Just do your breathing. Okay, the other thing is just think, what's the worst that can happen? You know, what's the worst? Is this going to matter in 5 years? Is this, you know, what's going to happen in 5 years from now? Is the world going to fall apart because I made a mistake? No. So that's a simple one. Another one is modeling. Find somebody who went through the same thing that you're afraid of, and then just see what they did to alleviate their fear, right? You can ask questions on Quora, you can ask on Facebook, you can ask your friends, whatever. There's various ways of doing it. And then there's a final one, and acronyms. Acronyms help a lot too, because if you can remember the acronym, then you can remember that when you're starting to be afraid. So let me give you a few acronyms that you probably have heard of, a couple of these, some you might not have. The first one is false expectations appearing real. The second one is false evidence appearing real. Now there's another one, face everything and rise. You could change it up a bit, face everything and rise above it. Face it, explore it, accept it, and rise above. That's another one. And the last one, first experiences aren't representative. So that's like what I said. Remember the first time I did a presentation, the whole class laughed at me. That doesn't mean that every single time I do something, everybody's going to laugh at me, right? So that's a good one. So you can take some of those. Another one is visualization. You can visualize yourself actually, say it's speaking in public. You can visualize yourself getting up on stage and talking before you actually do it, and rehearse it in your mind over and over again. That's another way. So there's a few techniques there that could help you overcome your fear. Hi, Ellen. Thanks for joining. So anyway, hopefully that helps you with your fears. I know some of those techniques have helped me with my fears. That's why I'm sharing them. To be honest with you, I used to be terrified of doing Facebook Lives. Like, I'd get up there and I'd think, oh, you know, I'm gonna forget what I'm talking about, or there's gonna be a blank spot in there sometimes, and there is, you know. So what? That's just the way it is, right? But eventually in time, I'll get smoother and smoother the more I do it, and then it won't pause as much, right? It's just you have to face that fear and keep on with it. And the first time I did video, I could only do a 5-minute video, and it wasn't live. I'd do that. I'd do that Facebook video, and it'd be only me watching, and it'd take me like an hour to do 5 minutes, right? I don't waste my time doing that anymore. I just do it, and it comes out the way it comes out, right? So anyway, have an awesome day. Thank you, Helen, for joining, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you.